Have that feeling when you just wanna let go. In the party, see somebody that you wanna dance with. Now all we need is some good music that we can step with. It's right, the vibe is tight. Let's dance tonight, and everybody's having a good
Feels
time.
Good tonight.
Alright,
the mood is right.
We can do what we wanna do, baby, tonight.
Let's get together on the dance floor. Once I get you there, I'm not gonna let go.
Tonight I'm gonna fall in love
with you.
Everybody's in this place and having a good time. I just came to decompress and lose the stress on my mind. Now I see somebody and he's ready to party. Now I didn't come for love, but I can't pass it up because
the mood is right.
The mood is right. Life is so
tonight.
Everybody's having a good time
tonight.
It's right. We can do what we wanna do, baby, tonight.
Let's get together
on the dance floor.
On the dance floor. Once I get you there, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm falling in love with you. Let's get together on the dance floor.
On the dance floor.
Once I get you there, I'm not gonna let you go.
'Cause baby, tonight I'm gonna fall in love with you.
Just like so.
Baby, tonight, let's get together on the dance floor. Once I get you there, I'm not gonna let go. Tonight I'm gonna fall in love with you. Let's just keep on dancing, it don't stop. Let's get together on the dance floor. On the dance floor. I'm not gonna let you go. Tonight I'm gonna fall in love with you. Tonight I'm gonna fall in love with you.
You're listening to Elevations Radio, your station for uplifting lifestyle and wellness talk radio.
Views expressed on shows are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its management, or other advertisers. Use of these shows and all services provided therein are for personal use only. The Elevations Radio Network holds no responsibility for the validity or accuracy of information on these shows.
Hey fam, welcome to the Let's Be Real show with Greg Bam Reaves. I am your host, Greg Bam Reaves. We got a little technical difficulties already. We're live here on elevationsradio.com, where you get all the indie music you can't hear anywhere else. You just got finished listening to Soul Revival's Fall in Love, and I kind of love that song. So anyway, normally at the beginning of the show, I'll go over a little current events with my co-host, but she's not here today. She's basking in the sun, in the Sunshine State, Yeah, I'm hating. I'm jealous. But no, I'm not. No, I'm not, because I got a great guest today, and I'm going to introduce her real quick, and we're going to talk about the current events before we get to the topic of the day. So I want you all to welcome, I can hear your applause through the airwaves, Donna Price.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
how you doing?
I am great, thank you.
Good friend of mine from Alabama. When the last time you been home?
I went home for the Classic, the Magic City Classic back in October. Had
Okay.
ball. Yes, nothing like the Magic City.
Right. So, it hasn't really been a whole lot of new news that happened this week. There's been a lot of the same old with that dude in the White House, whose name I would never say. But I do want to give a stand ovation, hand clap to the students that walked out yesterday.
Yeah.
I do believe, well, some of them did, but I believe all the faculty and teachers should have also. It wasn't just the students that were shot. So, very proud. Seems like our children are starting to become our leaders as we're clamoring to get Jay-Z and B tickets. I couldn't believe it. I don't know her name. I wouldn't say it anyway if I did, but this woman that worked today, she's like my age, and y'all know I'm 54. She told me, girl, I got my tickets. I said, I know she is not talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yes, she was. And a 20-minute conversation ensued about where she was at, how much it cost. And I'm like, are you for real? Toys R Us is closing. Kids walking out of school, and you, okay, whatever. I can't hate on Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, I'm not hating on them. I'm just laughing at these so-called grown people that's about to call off work and everything and spending their income tax checks to go see them. But that's a whole nother. On a more positive note, well, that ain't negative. But anyway, Black Panther went over $1 billion. Another hand clap for them.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. They was at 900 million last week. So, and I saw Angela Bassett on the Late Show. That is a beautiful woman. But anyway, they're already talking about, well, she didn't confirm it, but they're writing a sequel already. Have you seen Black Panther?
I have not.
I think I need to call up a new guest.
I'm sorry.
I was going to greet you with the, you don't even know what that means.
No,
That's
I don't.
okay, as long as you see it. But yeah, Black Panther is doing very well. They're talking about a sequel. And okay, we're broadcast across the country and around the world. But everybody knows that I'm a Clevelander. We're based here in Cleveland. And I'm a little sad that Joe Thomas retired from the Browns after 11 seasons. Any football fan know who Joe Thomas is. Even though, Cleveland Browns suck, whatever. Joe Thomas is the best left tackle in football, and sad to see him go.
I'm sorry. I roll with the tide.
Hey, I know you roll with the Tide, and I'm actually hoping that we get somebody from the Tide in the draft, Mika Fitzpatrick. We need somebody in our secondary, and he's the best in the draft, so I hope that Tide member becomes part of the dog pound.
Oh, wow.
I want to say a rest in peace to Stephen Hawking and Craig Mack. And speaking of Craig Mack, a couple of things I want to say. I just got finished watching Death Row Chronicles, the special that was on BET a couple of weeks ago. And it made me think about the comparisons between Bad Boy and Death Row. And I was thinking to myself, like, who's the most successful, Bad Boy or Death Row? Not Puffy or Suge Knight, but the labels themselves. And I thought to myself, Puffy is rich. I mean, he's definitely in a better situation than Suge Knight, but his artists, Biggie died, Shine went to jail, Loon, Mace, Craig Mack all turned to the Lord. They ran so quickly from him to Christ. Total pretty much disappeared. Like, there's no Bad Boy with any longevity except for Puffy. Whereas even though Death Row is chaotic and crazy and Snoop has had great success, Dr. Dre is probably the closest in hip hop to being a billionaire. Mm-hmm. Daz and Corrupt, they had decent careers. Nate Dogg was doing okay. He was singing hooks on everybody's stuff. And Michelle A got one album, but that song, everybody recognized it. you could put on Something in My Heart anywhere, and everybody will know it. So I was just thinking about that, like, without Craig Mack, would there even be a Bad Boy? That flavor in your ear is what put Puffy on the map. Now, how he treated his artists after that, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I'm just saying. I don't know. I think I'd rather be part of Death Row.
I don't have anything to say about that. I'm not here.
No, because it's just, Death Row had to be crazy. Come to work and wearing a bulletproof vest. That can't be it can't be like a real cool atmosphere. But I'm just saying, if I had the opportunity to have the success of Dre or Snoop and some of the other Death Row artists, I'd take that over one hit album and then Puffy send me to jail or fire me or have me. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. He ain't had nobody killed. But anyway, rest in peace, Craig Mack and Stephen Hawking. If you don't know Stephen Hawking, well, I'll just call him a genius. He's more than that, but yeah, everybody know him from the guy in the wheelchair that found a way to talk without talking through his brain.
Yes, ALS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
He was blessed.
He lasts a long time with that, where most people don't.
They actually gave him 5 years to live.
Yeah, and that was how long ago?
When he was 21. He got diagnosed at age 21. They gave him 5 years to live.
And he was 76?
He was 76 when he died.
Yeah. Yep. So, and the movie about him is a great movie. I didn't think I would be interested in seeing that, but I feel bad because I just forgot the title of it just now that quick. But it's a great movie. Google it, movie about Stephen Hawking, and watch it. It's on HBO or Showtime, one of them. Anyway, one bad thing I want to say. I'm trying to get away from negative news, but it seems like that's all that's happening in the world today. I know it's some good news. I just don't hear about it because I get my news same place you all do, from main media, and they don't give me a lot of good news. But these Texas bombings, what's bothering me about this is it's not a top story. It's not blowing up. I mean, we care more about the porn star that the president is having an affair with than people getting bombed in Texas. One, Anthony Stephen House was 39, African-American male. Jalen Mason, 17, African-American male. And a 75-year-old Hispanic woman. They didn't release her name. She's the only one that survived. She's in critical condition, but she's still living. The only good thing about this story is Jalen Mason, he actually opened up the package in the house, which meant that when it exploded, some fragments of it survived the blast, so they can do some testing and maybe find out a little bit more about the bomb and maybe who made it.
Oh, wow.
But it seems right now as if they're targeting minorities, who's ever putting these packages out there.
Absolutely.
And that should be, I don't know the number one story, but it should be up there. I mean, more people should definitely know about it. I mean, what's the difference, really, honestly, what's the difference between, we're talking about Kim Jong-un with these nuclear weapons in North Korea, and we're talking about Vladimir Putin with nuclear weapons in Russia. But we have a guy in Texas dropping packages on people's porches and blowing them up. I mean, that should be, if not number one, at least in the top three.
But it's hard for the news anchors. I mean, I'm sure they've never been this busy in their life.
Yeah, but I'm saying they busy, in my opinion, they're busy with frivolous nonsense. We know that man in the White House is a joke. The bigger thing is the people that put him there. That bothers me. But we've been dealing with him for over a year. This is happening like right now. This happened like yesterday, day before yesterday. And if you're not a CNN junkie like me, you might not even know that it happened. You know what I mean? And I think everybody should know that this is happening. I'm more concerned with what's going on in Texas than I am in North Korea at this point. But enough of that. We're moving on to happier stuff, happier topics. And I don't want to hear none of that negativity about my calves. They're going to be all right. Well, I should have left that for Saturday for Jeff, but you know, I got to mention my little sports every now and then. Phone lines open at 440-252-0518. That's 440-252-0518. Now, in case you didn't know, if you didn't see my advertisement or hear about it, today we're going to be talking about parents of children with autism. Well, not necessarily, just autism, period. Whether you're a parent or a sibling or just you got a loved one or friend with autism, because I think, especially in the black community, a lot of us have misconceptions about what autism is. A lot of us hadn't even heard the word until maybe 10, 15 years ago, because nobody was calling it that before. So the reason I asked Donna to come on the show is not only is she a medical professional, but she also is a parent of an autistic child. So tell us a little bit about you first. What do you do? Where you come from?
Well, my name is Donna, and I come from Alabama. I've been in Cleveland for 16 years, 17 years in September. I'm a mother of 3. I have 2 grown adult kids, and then I have my special baby.
Right. Yeah.
Who was born here in Cleveland.
Can I tell the story how I met him? Do you mind? Okay, I guess I won't. It was an innocent story. It was at a cookout. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, he did. accepting his diagnosis is because I have always been a disciplinary parent. I'm not the parent that tell you something to do 3 times.
Right.
I told you the first time, and I know you heard me the second time. It's some situations, circumstances, and my oldest daughter and my son will attest to that. But now I have a child on the spectrum.
So you have to change your parenting
So now I got to
style.
change everything on the way. I can't throw a shoe at him. I can't, get over there and hit him. I can't do these things.
Yeah.
And so
And she's not admitting that she threw a shoe at a child back in the day. For any police that's listening.
No, but I'm just saying, when you got your children,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you discipline them, and that was hard for me. And so it was actually for the first couple of years I struggled.
I can imagine.
Changing the way that I parented, because my oldest son and my daughter would tell you, my mama said one thing, and that was it. I didn't say 2 things. I didn't say 3. When I first moved to Cleveland, people were like, "You got children? I thought you had children." I do. What they at? They're in their room. They're not. You're not here to see them. They're not sitting in your face. Whereas
that was my mama.
Whereas my son now,
that was my mama.
I can't even have company. And if I have company, he has to know you coming over. It can't be just you popped up and said, "Hey, hi, I was passing by." Okay, well, you got to keep passing by, because he didn't know you was coming. Because you now have thrown him completely off.
I remember having to knock on my bedroom door trying to get my mother's attention, just let her know, "Ma, I need to use the bathroom." I'd rather sit in my room and use it on myself than go out there and get caught when she got her company.
Right.
I can say that because my mother's not here no more, so
God,
I ain't going to get no trouble. But I'm going to say something about that, too, in a minute. But we got to go on break. It's break time. God, that first half an hour went by quick.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play a song or two. We'll be right back. Phone lines are open at 440-252-0518. Give us a call. Join the conversation. See you in a minute.
I'm Carol Johnson from Burlington, North Carolina, and I listen to Let's Be Real with Greg Bam Reaves Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevations Radio.
I need the energy. Can you tell me why I smile? I feel your entity. Can you make me know that you are all I need? Can you save me from the pain I feel inside of me? Yeah. There, you turn my eyes, all is fair. You gave me maps to your heart. Where do I start? Learning the ways of a man who can show you the world, but just a boy who knows the ways of the world. You breathe new life. So glad you are mine. You make me mad, but I don't care. It's not that bad.
show me love? I need the energy. Can you tell me why I smile? I feel your entity. Can you make me know that you're just all I need? Can you keep me from the pain I feel inside of me? And I don't care if it looks like I lost my mind, and you are all I see, and you just look so fine. And I don't care if it looks like I lost my mind. You're all I know, teach me what it means to be mine. Can you show me love? I need the energy. Can you tell me why I smile? I feel your entity. Can you make me know that you're all I need? Can you keep me from the pain I feel inside of me? Yeah.
And we're back. Phone lines are open at 440-252-0518. That's 440-252-0518. Now, back to, I was about to say his name, and I'm not doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So about when he began to speak.
Okay, so I go to Cleveland Clinic, and Cleveland Clinic tells me that he's never going to speak to me, that what I saw was pretty much what I was going to get. But I went home, and of course I was, inconsolable to think that my son I would never hear his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered whose child I was. I was a child of God. So I took him to Alabama. And a pastor, I'll never forget this pastor, his name was Tommy Combs. And he prayed over my son. And 3 weeks later, I'm back in Cleveland, and I'm washing the dishes, and he comes in and he says, "Mom." And I say, "Yes." And he said, "Can I have a sandwich?"
Just like that.
Just like that. And my back is to him, and tears are streaming down my face, and I want to run out the house and shout to the heavens, but I can't do that because I'm scared to death. And so I got my back to him, and I'm like, "Yes, son, and what would you like? Bologna, turkey, ham?" He says, "Oh, I'll take turkey." Well, and it's like it was like he had been locked up, and somehow the key turned, and from that point on, we had our first verbatim conversation when he was 6 years old.
Wow.
Yes, and he's talked nonstop since then. And some nights I'm laying there and I ask God, and I remember, that's the Lord, I want to hear his voice. But now he tells everything he knows. Mm-hmm. But most times, to me, the kids, if you're she's touched.
My best friend's son.
I know. Most of the times, if the parents would just work with the kids, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, so I know what he can do. I know that. So that's my testimony. But if you're talking to them, and if you see that they can point or they can babble a little, they can actually talk. It's just all about pulling it out them, and you have to meet them where they're at.
Now they say even infants can understand you. They just haven't learned to respond yet.
Yes.
So it just maybe took him a little longer. But the way you said he responded, like he already had it up there, just like you said, his tongue got released. His tongue got released.
Yeah. He when most of the times, and of course, everybody should know this, vaccinations do not cause autism.
Right.
Under no circumstances do they cause autism. When I look back on birth, I can see the signs, even when he was 2 months old.
Okay.
It was hard for him to gain muscle control. He had to be about 3 or 4 months before he stopped flailing his arms like a newborn. Even to his eyes, he couldn't focus.
Right.
So I thought about when I think back to, yes, it was from birth. The fact that he didn't crawl. The fact that I thought it was cute that he walked on his tippy toes when he did start to walk. But those are one of the signs of children with special needs. They almost never put their feet on the floor, not flat on the floor. So when you see a child and they walking, and you think, oh, that's so cute, she's walking on a tiptoe. No, it's time to be concerned. Why is she walking on a tiptoe?
Now, okay, so you started to realize that maybe something might be wrong. But at the same time, you don't want to like panic. Once you find out, once you found out his diagnosis, what is that transition like? You don't want to panic like every single move he make. How do you deal with that? Like, I would tell you this. When my daughter's mother was pregnant with my first, I read every single book I could possibly find about parenting and babies. And did you get like that when you found out?
I'm still in denial. It took. I was that parent that was in denial. His father was in denial. I was in denial. I didn't research anything. The first couple of weeks after the diagnosis, I'm inconsolable because my parenting, and I look back on the stuff that I did and realized, oh my God, I was so wrong. So that I had to relieve myself of a lot of guilt, and it took a lot of years because, again, I've always been a disciplinary parent.
Right.
He's 3. He's not potty trained. No, you being lazy when I didn't know that he just had autism. So now I haven't given him a treat. You know, you do the tap on the leg with the babies, and now I'm grief stricken. I'm guilty, and so once I began to lift up the denial, okay, this is what it is, then I started to talk about it. I started to read about it. So I started learning that, you know, first of all, did I do something? It had to be something I did. So I went through that. I had to do something. Did I eat too much seafood? Did I sit up straight? Did I bend over? Did I go to the salon and breathe in the fumes? What did I do? When research after research showed that I didn't do anything.
Right.
It's developmental. So it happened in his development. Some mutation in the genes, which probably could be, you know, traced back to his father, because he had 2 brothers. He now have 1, but they both are on the spectrum. So you have, you know, 3 kids.
And I explain what on the spectrum means. You've used that term a couple times. But.
On the spectrum means that it's degrees for autism. So you may have the classic autism, which is what my son has. He has classic autism. He talks, but he has social limitations. He has cognitive disabilities. He's 14, but cognitively he's about 11. Can he tell you about everything on WWE or anything in NBA?
Right.
He can tell you everybody. You can call him up and you can ask him, hey, Bruce, who plays number 13 on the Lakers? And he'll give you their whole history. You're like, really? Yeah, he can tell you where the mama went to school at, the daddy went. He tell you about all that. And then you have the children that has Asperger's, and those are the people they are very smart, and they can socialize, but they still have limited social skills. The first question you ask them, yes, they may tell you, I don't know. They just did it, you know. And then you have the nonverbal, the ones that do not talk, never been potty trained, and they're just basically, you know, big babies, you know, forever. So it's a lot to the spectrum. But the one thing that I want the world to know is that they are regular people.
Right.
They have their limitations, and I hate it when people expect them to, we have to meet them where they're at. We can't pull them in our world. We have to stay in their world. Let's look at things from their point of view. Yes, it may seem silly to you that they don't want to go in that building. They don't want to go in the building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may seem silly to you when a person comes and they don't know them and they're not making eye contact with you, because that's one of the first things that a child does not. You know, when he was smaller, we thought, oh, he must like women, because as soon as I would put him in somebody's arms, he would put his head in their chest. But that was the autism. They really don't make eye contact with you like that. So, you know, a lot of the things that was signs for me, I thought, oh, it was so cute. Oh, he must like, you know, all these women. He liked them, hugging them.
Right.
When he was 2, I took him to Disney World. He cried for 7 days. He cried for 7 whole days, and he couldn't talk, and I didn't know what was wrong with him, but here we were in Disney World, and nobody could make him happy.
Wow.
And it wasn't until we get back to Cleveland, and I put him in the back door of the house, and once I put him in the back door, he shut up. Excuse me. Like nothing had ever happened. So I excuse me. I concluded that he don't like being away from home. Only it was the autism.
Right.
Something.
Some more water.
Some got in my throat.
Phone lines open at 440-252-0518. That's 440-252-0518. We are talking about autism with Donna Price. And you okay? We're going to get her together real quick.
Who was choking to death?
Yeah. So you discussed some of the causes, and I was reading. You got it? I was reading, and it said some of it is genetic, and some of it is environment, but it really doesn't. I mean, that's as far as I got. I did read something recently, like in the last couple of years, that was kind of trying to blame women, which I didn't really like. This was maybe 2 years ago. They were talking about the consumption of alcohol by women could cause autism and all that stuff. I didn't read a lot into that article because
that's not true.
I know. Well, I didn't think it was anyway. So, but I was just like, why would they put that out there like that? But what I really want to ask is, okay, so I know it's difficult for you as a mother. How difficult it is for the siblings? I mean, I know they're a lot older, but they did have time in the house before they were grown and gone, right?
It's difficult. It was difficult for my son because my daughter's 30.
Right.
Believe it or not, she's 30. And she was away at college when he got his diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult for my son because his brother wanted to be with him, and he didn't know how to deal with him.
Right, yeah.
So he interacted, but he was kind of embarrassed when his friends would come over. And now Bruce talks, but Bruce is not keeping up with the conversation. He just throwing stuff out there randomly. Mm-hmm. But then my son, he loves his brother, so he kind of came to accept it. So my daughter's a social worker, and my son is a cop, and they're very protective of their brother. They're very protective. They pretty much know the rules. Like my son, he'll come to Cleveland, and he'll forget that you can't surprise me. Like, oh, Mom, I'm at the airport. No, you're not.
Right.
Now you got to stay over there for about 3 hours so I can tell you like he loves his brother being there. He loves his sister coming home. But after they've been there about 2 days, he would like for them to leave.
Yeah.
He don't want them to go back to Alabama. He just wants them out this house.
Yeah, right. They're invading his space.
They're invading his space.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for siblings, especially when they got the, like my son to be like, oh, wow, Bruce did this, Bruce said that, I would get, I'd get a whipping. Mom, you put me on punishment. But they understand it has to be different for him.
Yeah. I wonder, you can't answer this because it's a hypothetical, but I wonder, is it easier, well, it's probably not the right word either. I just wondered how different it would be if your children were closer in age. Like if they were like just 2 years older than him or 3 years older than him.
I was so
like they have been a big help, right?
They've been excellent.
Yeah.
If they were.
Well, if they were close to his age, how much could they help? You know what I mean?
Yes, I think that he could be more social because he could see the social interaction.
Okay, yeah.
You know, as it relates to how to interact with other people. So now he kind of makes it up.
Yeah.
So to speak, because he's not, he doesn't have close friends. He actually almost have no friends. He just has his family. And that's his choice. He don't go outside. Right now he's never even walked down the street by himself. So at 14, I'm working on that this summer.
Yeah.
This summer my goal is to get him to walk down the street. By the end of the summer, I want him walking down the street by himself. Just to the corner and come back. You know, because it's, you know, as a parent, you can't leave your children helpless. You don't know what day, you know, and I know, you know, my daughter, God bless her soul, she loves her brother. I know, you know, if something happened to me, they would take care of him. But at the end of the day, he has to be able to, you know, take care of himself some.
Yeah, that's like my cousin. I really hadn't been around her in some years, but I do know she adjusted. She's working. She had a setback last year. She had a real bad fall, and I had to be in the hospital for a little while. I mean, a really bad fall. But she was working, and like I said, she was 30 or 31 this year, so she's adjusted pretty well. You know, I thought this was an important show to have because it's a lot of people I know that are dealing with what you. And
they're going to be out in the community.
Saying dealing with because it's still parenting.
Well, I mean, it's parenting, but it's a different parenting because you have to be strategic in all that you do. You just can't run out and do what you want to do. Cleveland Clinic Hospital, they have a very great program where they hire people with autism. Yeah, and they are very, you know, sensitive what they need. They not necessarily put them in the basement, but they put them in a quiet area and they give them a job to do certain things, but they don't have to interact with the rest of the hospital. You know, they may go up the stairs and do some things and come back, but their main area is because they need their space.
I posted a video on Facebook of a car wash. I forgot what city it's in now. God, I'm so forgetful.
It's in Florida.
Is it in Florida?
It's in
car wash that hires all
Yes.
And there's even a company in Cleveland. When I worked for Elite, Lincoln Employment Abilities and Potential, worked with people with disabilities. A man there, his daughter is autistic, and he started a popcorn company. They sell different brands, different flavors of popcorn on West 25th and Lorraine, and he hires all people with disabilities because he wanted a workplace for his daughter who's autistic. So there are organizations and places out there that are really, really doing some great work, and proud to be associated with some of those. Well, I have been associated with some of those places, but it's good to know that there's places that you can go to that your child, loved one, whoever, can feel comfortable with people with similar situations as theirs.
Actually, Fortune 500 companies are tapping into to people with autism because they pay attention to fine details, and so they're actually making their companies autism friendly because they know that you got a person with autism, especially the savants. They are basically gonna get your company together.
Yeah.
So it's more and more. It's not like most people think, oh, they got autism, and you start thinking all this old negative stuff. They're smart. They're articulate. They just view things different than what you see.
Yeah.
Their brain just works entirely different, and outside of that, they're regular people.
It's just like you were saying about your son, like. You can name a number and a team. He'll give you the whole history. There are people getting paid a lot of money to sit in a room and do that research all day about a player that barely made it to the NBA when he can come up with it like that. He could be very useful for a scouting department for a pro team or even in wrestling, because I know he knows wrestling.
Oh, yes, he does. He
Yeah, but it's like I said earlier, like, you know, I've heard that they were savants. It's always a play. You know what? And I guess the beauty of it for me is you can like eliminate the distractions. Like for us, sometimes it's really hard to focus because of everything we got going on, where some of them can actually just, this is all that matters right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we could barely ever get an opportunity to do that. And they can just say, even if they got to get guided that way, like you may have to ask your son, hey, whose number is so and so over there? He can just go right there, be like so and so and so and so. And you know what I'm saying? Where me, I'm like, man, what is his name? Because I'm thinking about 8 other things at the same time.
Yes, it's never hard for them. It's never hard for them. But the main takeaway for me is for people to understand that they are not spoiled. They are regular people. Pretty soon, the Rosemary Center used to be on Euclid, and it's a home for children with autism.
Okay.
But now they're out into the community. So when you see them out into the community, treat them like anybody else.
But see, now that raised up another issue, and we almost out of time, but it's not like you can look and know. Like you could look and know. But the average citizen, they won't. They couldn't look at a person and know they're autistic. Maybe if they knew more about autism and could see some of the mannerisms.
The first thing they're not doing is looking at you.
Right, okay.
That's one of the things that they're not doing. They're not staring
no eye
at you.
contact.
If you're looking at them, they like this. Even if you're talking to them, their head is turned.
Right.
And just a simple conversation would tell you they on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And all it takes is just a conversation. Just a, hey, how you doing? If they and if as soon as you speak to them, the minute their eyes go to the left or to the right, or they put their head down, then that tells you that they are on the spectrum.
And I think you brought up a good point earlier. Rain Man is a good point of reference.
Oh, yes.
If anybody wants to learn something from just a movie, watch Rain Man and give you a really good perspective of what it's like to be around an autistic person, and even an accountant. Even though it's a movie about a hitman, still, you know, they give you some perspective. But I thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
We're gonna have to do this one more time because there was a lot that I wasn't able to get to. I rushed through this show sometimes. It's only an hour, but we're working on that. We're gonna try to do something else.
Okay.
But I thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you got any other questions, you can hit me up at letsbereal63@yahoo.com. You can hit me up at elevationsradio.com. You can hit us up on the Elevations Radio Facebook page. And by the way, I am right now unemployed DJ. That's a whole nother story. I'll tell you about that next Thursday. But yeah, I do DJ, and you can hit me up for that at qtpllc@yahoo.com. Very reasonable prices. I don't play a lot of hip hop. I strictly DJ for grown folks. Anyway, we about to get out of here. And as always, develop your hunger for knowledge and feed it. Pick up a book and read it. Set a goal and see it through. And always, always believe in you. Peace and love, fam.